Howdy, lieutenants and economists.
The most volatile, evil, disgusting things on the planet, humans. If you have a video request, you can always go to assholeconsulting.com.
Yeah, I am gonna charge you, kids. And that is the importance of not fucking up.
You are such an asshole!
Oh, Cappy. Thought he was done. And then you realize that occasionally, with aaron.clary@assholeconsulting.com, with asshole consulting in the email, sometimes it ends up in spam, and that's why I have you guys email me at my Cappy Cap email address. Because then I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, I got 2 more videos. So, James writes, I am a 23-year-old African-American man. We say black here. We say black. The reason why is because we're too short our lives are too short, and we're too damn important for us to waste 7 times the amount of unnecessary syllables saying African American, Caucasian American, Latino American. No, we're just too important, and there are too many pretty girls to bang. We just say black and white because that is much more efficient, and we get to our point quicker. You're a accounting major in California State School. 6 years ago, I took an online IQ test, of which is probably unreliable, and I scored around 125. And if you know the ballpark, go test it again. After graduating high school, I was extremely naive political science major. Then I became a marginally less naive cocksucking finance major. Here was my plan: network my ass off until I landed an analyst position at a middle market boutique investment bank. Nope. Eventually ascend to an associate position at a bulge bracket firm. Sure you were. See, the only reason I'm saying no is because this is exactly what I was going to do. Toiled there for a few years, then transitioned into the buy-side portion in a real estate-focused hedge fund or private equity firm involved in plant-based or lab-cultured animal product replacements. Yes, I was fully aware of the 80 hours plus average work week, psychopathic bosses, and corporate conforming, normie plus conformist deep-throating required to make it into investment banking, but oblivious to my lack of pedigree and or connections needed to break into the industry. After 2 months of extreme anxiety and inability to reconcile my dreams with reality, I eventually found one of your videos. It's always good. It's like women. You got to get them when they're emotionally weak and unstable. That's when you can get them. That's when they'll sleep with you, when they're desperate. And that's how I get my clients. When you guys are unsure of yourself and you're desperate. I eventually found one of your videos on investment banking during the course of my research. I must admit, I was very skeptical of your content. However, I gave you the benefit of the doubt, and it resulted in me watching probably more than 250 plus hours of your content, as you should. And saving myself from a life of hell as a finance degree holding insurance salesman or credit union personal banker and making less than $40,000 a year. Dude, I can't guarantee, but that's probably where you were going, unless you were like, what is the good school? Is it the Anderson School? What's the good school in California? It's still no Harvard or Wharton or Chicago. Okay, I'm a CPA-bound accounting major. Now what? Well, I still have big dreams. Everyone says I'm smart and destined for big things. That's just people kissing your ass. But quite frankly, I'm willing to exploit every diversity program and affirmative action opportunity available to make my dreams come true despite not needing to do so. Given my talents and extreme work ethic. Dude, you take whatever advantage you can. Absolutely. Look, people think, oh, you never collect welfare if you're a Republican. Fuck bullshit. If I'm unemployed and you dumb shits voted in all this government cheese for me, you darn right I'm going. Absolutely. Girl shows up but makes poor judgments. Girl with bad decision-making decision. Yes, manna from heaven. You take it while you get it. I mostly vote for conservatives, unfortunately, with great futility in California, so don't judge me. Not judging you. Just playing the cards I've been dealt. So here's my question: with a few years of Big Four experience as a mandatory prerequisite, should my next move involve A, going into... Oh, this is what me and Elkins talked about. Shit. Watch that video. I'll send that. I'll email you this back. We talked about it in way more detail. So this will answer all your questions. So here's my question. With a few years of Big Four experience as a mandatory prerequisite, okay, we're going to assume that. We're also going to assume you got your CPA. Should my next move involve going into industry and then climbing the corporate ladder all the way up to CFO of a Fortune 500 company, working industry for 4 hours a day while building a small business during the remaining 4? I don't know if you're going to be able to do that. They're going to usually want you there for 40 hours a week, 8 hours a day. Combining options A and B while looking for a government job. Boy, you just made that real complicated. A and B while looking for a government job, and once I finally land a government role, work on building a small business during my free time. D, switch my major all and pursue a bachelor's in sports management with a double minor in ethnic and gender studies. I started to switch. I'm like, he's just pulling my chain. You make it unnecessarily complicated here. What Chad recommended, and he said this would apply to about 85-90% of the people, is that you don't want to work in Big Four after that. You want to definitely go into industry. So you are going to go into industry. And then you have a permutation or variation here of work your way all the way up CFO of a Fortune 500 company, work 4 hours on, 4 hours off, doing your small business, which I don't think is going to be possible. They're going to want you there 40 hours a week. Combinations of options A and B while looking for a government job. And once I finally land a government, we'll work on building a small business during my free time. All right. The most stable and highest paying, and the one I'm going to recommend to you, is that you go work. This is assuming you've had your Big Four experience. You go and you work in industry. Chad makes that sound like the golden chalice. I've never been there. I've never worked public accounting, nor have I gone and worked industry. But he makes that sound like that's the golden chalice. So you're getting really good money. You're on the track to become CFO, corporate executive type controller, whatever, going down that path. And then, you make it, if you want to work those hours, go ahead. So that is like the most steady Eddie yet high paying. And that's the benefits. Those are the rewards of you suffering and enduring the CPA exam and working in the Big Four, which is going to suck. But that's why you're going that way. Then B and C, I don't like B or C because you're limiting yourself, and it's not. I want to take pieces of this and put together a much better plan. What I would say is, in addition to working for the Fortune 500 company, and assuming they allow you to do this, like you don't sign a thing like at Google or Facebook where you sign your life away, but if you're allowed to run a business on the side, I would do that. James, is it? Yeah. James Accountancy, James Super CPA, whatever.com. Put it up, do taxes, and you know what? While you're working in industry, that's just your beer money. But now you got a line in that water to catch any big fish that might come along, and the added benefit of that is you don't need the money. So while you got your bread and butter working for the Fortune 5, or you got your daytime gig, you can be real choosy about what clients you take on or not. And you can bluff. You could say, all right, you want me to, okay, it's going to be $400 an hour for me to do that, and that fish may not always bite, but that fish might come around and nibble. And if they say, no, that's too bad. So it has to be worth your time. So you could start building up a very selective, elite, and choosy portfolio of clients that are very high paying and professional and easy to work with, all right? And then all of a sudden, that starts growing. Now you got this portfolio of really easy work, and if they ever give you lip in the fucking industry, okay, screw you. I'm going to go and bang out $200 an hour over here because I selected high-quality clients, high-paying clients. All right? Now, this would assume over the course of 5 years, maybe even a decade. I'm not saying you're going to get, it's going to grow like gangbusters. And worst comes to worst, you can always start doing taxes and take on the extenders and pretenders. But I think that dual-prong approach, which I always recommend, daytime gig, entrepreneurial gig. Right? In addition to working out and dieting. That's like the four-prong approach. But yes, I would definitely, the day you get your CPA, get your website and start, putting a couple feelers out there. Don't make it your main gig. That's going to be for the Fortune 500 company. And then you're sitting real pretty. Then it's like, well, if something's going to dislodge me from this, there better be a 1 with or 5 with 5 zeros at the end of it. So there's that. The government job, C, we're saying you're doing a combination of both in the government job, which I don't think is going to be possible. Now you split yourself way too thin. What Chad did recommend is if you could go and work for the enemy, The enemy cap, i.e. the IRS or any one of the state tax authorities, revenue departments, that also adds nicely to your resume. Because you, as he says, you've peered behind the curtain. You've been there. You've been to the girls' camp. Now, what's it like? Do they have bras and they throw them at each other? What's it like working for the taxing authorities? And you go, it's actually quite boring. He said that helped, but I would only do that in lieu of not being able to find employment with one of the Fortune 500. So you got that there. And yes, affirmative action and your diversity credentials are all going to hopefully play a role. I imagine definitely with the IRS. If you were to apply for the government, the Fortune 500, corporate America is just, they can't, now what they're doing, if I don't know if you knew this or not, part of HR and corporate social responsibility, most of these departments now, will pay, you don't have, this doesn't come out of your health insurance or anything, they'll pay you to go to the hospital, to the surgeons, and have your mouth widen so you can suck more black cock and minority dick to prove your diversity credentials. So a lot of white people are now like having this cut here and cut here, and they're extending it, and they gotta wear like a tail like this, and then they teach them classes on how to worship and bow down at minority cock. And then they say, I like diversity! I'm such a good person! But no, quite serious, I think it will be an advantage. And yeah, dude, you run with it, man. No guilt, no shame, all right? I mean, you got to pass that CPA exam. The exam don't know that you're black or not. The standards are not going to be lowered on that test, I'll tell you that. But yeah, man, you take every advantage you can get, every advantage. And wave to the nice white people as they go get their surgeries on their mouth widening program. So yeah, so ever so roughly, yes, Big Four experience, then you go work in industry once you get that CPA. Although while you're working at the Big Four, I can almost guarantee you they're not going to allow you to work as a CPA independently on your own. So we know that. But then you go work Big Four, run accountancy on the side, CPA-ship. That gives you your line. Play it by ear. I know, then I'll become a CFO of a Fortune 500 company. Well, you probably have to work 15 years, and a lot could change in 15 years. So don't be flexible. Don't, because better opportunities may come along. Ballroom dance instructing and writing books. Who the hell saw that coming? But you're not doing this 4 days on, 4 days. I mean, work from home if you can, but you're not. I don't think you're going to find working in the industry for 4 hours a day. That's not going to happen. And yeah, you're going to have to work 8 hours a day, and then 1 to 2 hours per day, kind of nursing your CPA company along. And then the government job, taxing authorities, if you can't find work in that. I'll send you the video me and Chad did. It kind of more or less covers everything. He knows what he's talking about because he's a CPA. I hope that helped. Anyway, great plan. Nothing wrong. Just want you to focus and be more realistic. That's about it. You guys got questions? Cappy's got answers. AssholeConsulting.com. See you all later. Toodles.